People. eEvent, welcome to the stage. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Eddie Sulistio, and let me introduce my co-founder Andy and Larry. Before we begin, let me ask you a few exciting questions. Who got here because they heard about this event from someone? Raise your hand. Great. Now, who got here and brought at least one person to come along with you? Raise your hand. Awesome. Now, give a round of applause if you want to be rewarded with VIP access with a grand jury or judge or anyone or with Jason. Give a round of applause. You know, that's exactly what eEvent does. We, eEvent, combine the social element, the fun game mechanics, and geolocation to reward your true influencer of your events, your top ambassador, with something that money cannot buy. And it's very easy to use eEvent. Here's how. First, you need to create your event. Just type the event name, the venue location, and the date. And that's it. Let the game begin. People love to go to events with their friends, and people love to go to events recommended by their friends. And as soon as people register, they want to bring along their friends to come to the events. And when you register and the more people you bring to the event, the higher your rank on the leaderboard. Let's take a look on the example on the screen. Jose is the top ambassador of this event on the leaderboard. If the second position, which is Brian, took over his spot, Jose will notify immediately that Brian is taking over his spot. And of course, Jose will not just stand still. He will fight back to reclaim his top spot. And eEvent, we're not only just giving a reward with the status, but we also give them with badges and point system for any activities, positive engagement on the events. We use mobile check-in to encourage attendance and discourage no-shows with points and stuff. So that's what eEvent is all about. We are solving number one problem that event planner has that many have tried but failed. Now, here's Andy to talk about the current status of eEvent.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie. Well, we released eEvent last month, and we had over 350 organized events in the US as well as in the other countries. Let me take you to 15,000 miles away journey to Indonesia. It is the fourth most populous country. And compared to the US, internet access is very limited in there. We tried eEvent, and we had over 90% success rate of getting the event sold out. Every single event organized in the past months in Indonesia sold out. We had to implement actually the waiting list feature to accommodate the demand. So it's a $500 billion industry, and we would like to capture and scale. Appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Okay. Game dynamics, leaderboards for event and event promotion. Jose, go.
And great presentation, guys. Really appreciate it. Best use of gamification, social and location based. That's non-douchey.
Awesome.
It's a great problem.
We have an
to
award
solve.
for that.
Featured.
No, it was okay.
So there's your primary customer right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you use it, Jason?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. We had an ambassador. Thank you for the wine. We had an ambassador program. We tried to really get off the ground for this event, and the goal of it was to find networked people, give them a free ticket in exchange for helping network the event in other cities around the world to sort of, we want to get diversity at the event.
Yeah,
and we couldn't get it off the ground.
It seems like, but this is actually going to work, I think, much better for dance parties than it is for high-end tech conferences, and it's going to work really well, I think, for dance parties.
Yeah.
Churches, this would be huge for churches, actually.
But I don't know. I think there's people who love the idea of being the ambassador for the launch conference in their country or city and getting a free ticket in exchange, or maybe going to the VIP party in exchange for helping promote the event. And if it was just something as getting an email sign up, or they don't even have to buy a ticket because we have.
So, Involver had this feature. Involver was a competitor originally in a past life to Socializer and Evite and so on.
Yeah.
And the whole concept there was top Involver, who would pull in the most people. And it got tired pretty fast because in those cases, people got tired of spamming their friends. Their friends said, stop spamming me. So there's a fine line here, especially because you're hitting up the same people over and over.
Yeah.
Well, may I answer? To implement the gaming elements to any event planning software is not that hard. Everyone knows this. But to implement it right, that's the hardest part. Right? I mean, we have to have the intention has to be right. We can't just plug in points, reward, just left and right. People won't like that. And plus, a lot of other companies have tried, but they don't have the right business model either. We have made money since day one.
Yeah, can you sell this on a pure ROI basis? Can you just say, what is your cost of acquisition for a new subscriber? What's your NPV? And we're going to just come in below that?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Can you sell it on a per subscriber basis? Can you go to Jason and say, well, Jason loses money in his conferences, but...
We broke even.
We broke even. He's not, but can you go to somebody else who's maybe charging $3,000 an event attendee? They have a cost of acquisition, if they can pay below a certain amount, say $200, it makes them money. And can you say, well, we'll bring in people for $50 a piece and pocket the difference and then just prove your model out?
Well, I think that's possible, but we found that money really doesn't buy friendship and recommendation, and we are very leery in incentivizing people with money. I mean, if it is big amount of money, maybe...
You should be an angel investor. Money can buy you friends.
yes, but not 25 cents. Not 50 cents. I don't think your friend worth 50 cents.
So
right?
can I ask, what is your model? Do you charge the event organizer per ticket, or
Yes.
do you charge them one-time fee for the whole event?
We charge per ticket base. So we
But
only...
do you do the sales? So do you integrate with like an Eventbrite, or do you have the sales as well?
Well, for now we are quite flexible. We do not have to integrate with Eventbrite because we have the chain payment system ourselves. You could charge Visa, MasterCard, anything.
So you do the whole event,
Yes,
ticket
yes.
sales, and the social
Right.
side.
I mean,
All
that comes
that
standard.
wasn't 100% clear.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So I run events, and it is interesting. You have people who influence, but a lot of times it's not easy to identify them.
Yeah.
So and I'm not sure that and I'm not even sure in some cases they want to be identified. They're happy to help out because you did well by them or they had a good time.
Right.
I do think some people will enjoy it, but I'm not sure that I was your number one dude that helped bring all these people. Give me 5. I'm
Right.
like, okay.
Well, that's not the case though. Who are here in LinkedIn? Anybody? Raise your hand, please. Right? And who doesn't want to be identified as the top influencers of the week because you participate in the discussion board?
I think we might be missing the point, and I don't know if you understood his actual comment about the revenue portion, but low friction, meaning that if it's actually gamification in a sense like Farmville, where I do see that I have, oh, hey, that's interesting that I got that. It isn't really calling it out. I don't think the leaderboards are that aggressive. You can't
Yes.
do it the way that, you're right. People don't want to necessarily
Right.
know, but the dynamics of that happen for this event very specifically. They happen organically. How can they happen organically and I said it in my initial and I won't repeat it, it's a UI issue or how it manifests itself. It has to be right. It has to be smooth as butter.
Final comment, Robert Scoble.
Also, I'm already getting these kinds of signals from Plancast, right? Plancast, you can go to Jason's Plancast page and see how many followers he has. Then you can compare it to how many Marshall has or how many I have. And you can see who is influential. Are you able to hook your system in with like a Plancast or with a Facebook events? Because that's where I find all my events.
Absolutely, we have open API, so we can be integrated with anyone.
But how will you give Jason the credit for bringing an event into my view on a system like Plancast?
Well, because the database is still on our system, we centralize the database, so the API is more like a widget that you can implement it to your site, but it's still, we manage the whole user and everything.
All right, let's hear it for eEvent.
Thank you.
Well done.